The learning outcome for this module is to understand how to effectively delegate tasks to others and then make sure that they actually get done. Let's get started.
We're going to talk about the ways to effectively delegate tasks to others and make sure that they get done. The first thing is that you need to make sure you face your fear about delegating. It's quite common to fear giving your work away to a subordinate or a colleague or a consultant. I mean, what if they mess it up? What if they don't do it exactly as you would do it? Or what if they do it better than you? Those are all pretty scary thoughts to have. But the fact is, to be a leader or a high-quality manager, you have to serve as the point person for much of the work that gets done and not be the actual doer. You can conquer your delegation fear by actually just facing it. Think of the project that you would be most afraid of delegating and delegating it using some of the tools that we're going to talk about in a few seconds. And then ask yourself, were my fears realized? Probably not. Did having someone else do this task help me to be more effective? Probably. And if this is too scary for the project that you're thinking about right now, try a lower risk project and ask the same questions and start to build up this muscle of delegation. The next thing is to remember that you don't delegate blindly. Because you don't want to delegate tasks that are core to your role. You don't want to delegate tasks or projects that are only you are expected to do, or that no one else besides you has the expertise to do well. Good projects to delegate have finite outcomes, clear boundaries, and timelines. Ideally, you should delegate a whole project rather than just pieces of it, because you want to empower that person to be able to make decisions about it and come up with a solution, rather than just doing little pieces of it and trying to fit it into a whole that they don't necessarily understand. You want to try to be strategic about giving away decision authority, because you want to be clear about who makes the decisions with the project or the task going forward, so that it's clear who actually is going to show up with the result at the end of the day. When you've identified a task or a project to delegate, make sure that the person you delegated to is prepared for the challenge. To make sure they have the skills, the resources, the time, the passion to actually take it to the end. And if you stumble on any of those things, maybe you want to step back and try to find someone who might be better fit. It's always a great idea, as a leader or manager, to keep a list of potential people that you want to delegate things to and understand what their skills and their passions and their knowledge base are, because then you can match people that you have in your bullpen with the tasks that you need to have done. Next, make sure that you be clear on output. You need to make sure to provide clear expectations and obtain agreements from the people that are going to be doing the task or the project for you. You can't just ask, hey, can you do this for me? Or can you, write a report for me? Or can you, get those numbers for me? And then walk away. You want to make sure that you discuss the results that you want, any milestones in between, project inception and conclusion, the timeline that you want the results in, and then get real clear about the format and the content of the final product that you want to see. But then, of course, you have to step back and don't be stubborn about how that person actually gets the task done. You're giving them the what you want done, and you want to make sure that they have the freedom to actually show up with the how that works best for them to show up with the solution that you've defined with them. Finally, make sure you track delegated projects. It's important to grow the muscle of delegation, but you don't want to give up the management responsibility behind it. So you need to keep track of the tasks you've delegated by maintaining a log of what you delegated, who you delegated it to, when the project's due, and what the expectations were. Also, when you delegate something, make sure you ask the person how they'd like for you to support them. For instance, like how often do they want you to follow up? How do they want you to follow up? Do they want you to give you a call? Is it an in-person meeting? Is it an email, etc.? And then make sure you've clearly outlined and agree on milestones if necessary within the project. And then make sure that you guys have it written down so that it's documented, so that you guys can both hold yourself to this project. And then, of course, always make sure that you're available to provide support when the person you delegated to needs that help, because that's your real role as a leader or manager.
We hope that this module on delegating to others has been useful. Remember, a complete transcript of this video is below, and there are downloadable takeaways that you can use offline. Also, please take a moment to give us a comment below about how you're better at delegating to others today, or leave us a comment about how we can make this section better. Thank you.